we're lucky enough to have a couple former Buckeyes right here in Cleveland playing for the Browns. I had the chance to catch up with offensive lineman Dawand Jones, talk a little bit about his time at Ohio State, the trip he'll be making back to Columbus, and some odd pets he has too.
Able to keep them pretty solid. You know, I got some guys that are still there that was there when I was a senior, so that helps out a lot. You know, Caden Curry, he's a starting DN. He's from Indianapolis, so we catch up and talk a lot, and you know, he kind of keeps me updated through that. But I watch it just from the outside. You know, I try not to be in those guys' lives, just knowing how much they got to take on every day. And other guys like Kenyatta, and I could name them much more, but you know, those are my guys, and they're going to do well this year.
What was it like to watch them win a national championship last year? Were you living vicariously through them? Because obviously you wish you had done that when you were there, right?
Yeah, of course. I was so ecstatic for him. You know, I text Caden on the side, and you know, I just told her I'm happy for him. Text other couple guys, and just like, you know, I'm happy, you know, knowing that we had a chance against Georgia. It didn't happen, and then none of those guys got another chance to do that. And you know, that's a dream that come true.
People were counting this Ohio State team last year out, I mean, from the jump, and then you have the loss to Michigan, and everyone was like, they have no shot. So how do you think Ryan Day was able to turn things around in that locker room and lead this team on the run that we saw from them?
Just knowing that you got a second chance, and if you know that, like, just like I knew, like, when we got our second chance against Georgia, we felt like it was the, you know, new life. It was 0-0, which it basically was. Everybody record, if you make the playoffs, 0-0, so it's a clean slate, and you definitely can take advantage of it, just like what they did.
There were so many seniors that decided to come back last year for this unfinished business for Ryan Day. What is it about Coach Day and the brand of Ohio State football that guys are ready to run through a brick wall for it?
I think it's the same here. You know, guys want to play for him. You know, I love Coach Day. He's, like, you know, I kind of like my best friend back at Ohio State. He kind of was, you know, he just talks to you on a level that you understand, you know. He just gets you. He played football, so like anything you need, anything you know, he's there. He's a resource. Like his door is like a real open door policy.
If you have a free day to spend in Columbus, what are you doing?
I probably will go back for the Texas game, and I don't know. I'll probably just go see practice and just talk and just, you know, just talk to the guys and just, you know.
Do you have any restaurants, places you go hit up?
Yeah, I'll probably go hit up Hangover Easy. You know, might not be on a diet, but I might go to Hangover Easy. That's really my main spot, though. Any other places, it just really come natural.
How do you feel like the team's going to do this year? And right out of the gate, they have a tough task. I mean, they're welcoming in Texas to the shoe.
I don't think they would want no other way, you know. Not get out the way, but, you know, bring it on. You know, you're the defending champion. They just played them, kind of. So it's like, it's a revenge game for Texas, and it also is like a, you know, we're not here to mess around this year for Ohio State. And
did you get the pet turtles when you went to Ohio State, or what's the story behind that?
I got it when I was just got drafted, like right before in the draft combine process.
When you go to the Texas game, will you bring the turtles with you? Are they allowed? Okay, I don't know what the rules are there, if you're allowed to welcome them in or not. What was the biggest lesson you think you learned as a player at Ohio State that you've carried with you here in Cleveland?
Just, you know, being a pro, I feel like a routine, you know, that was the main thing that, like, we harped on, is just like, you know, having a routine, sticking by and just doing that. And I feel like I've had the same routine for years, you know, whether it's hot tub, pool, it's been my routine. So, like, you know, I kind of stick by that, and it's let over. And I don't know, our practice schedule was the main thing, you know, just how the way I operated, you know, from camp to the season, it reminded me just like the NFL.
Is it possible to do a back-to-back, Natties?
You know, it's hard. That's a hard task. You know, all I really care about is they beat the Town North, in my opinion, this year. You know, I think that's the playoff a lot of people back, but, you know, it's going to happen.